lockout. Well, I'm here to tell you it's looking that way, man. The CBA negotiations is going nowhere. This last proposal was pretty much the last straw for the WNBA players, from what I'm hearing behind the scenes, and they feel as if the WNBA owners and league officials do not respect them for their talents on the basketball court. Now, we know as fans from the outside looking in, this thing looking spooky. I just got to be honest.
Breaking developments suggest Caitlin Clark may find herself unable to accept the current CBA proposal, potentially forcing her participation in a 2026 WNBA lockout situation. Recent reports from Indianapolis indicate troubling signs ahead. Behind-the-scenes information reveals the CBA discussions have hit a wall. Despite earlier optimism, a work stoppage appears increasingly likely. The latest proposal from league ownership has reportedly become the final straw for players who feel disrespected regarding their on-court abilities and contributions. From an outside perspective, the situation looks concerning. There's been consistent support for fair compensation. Somewhere around $1 to $2 million annually seems reasonable.
I gotta be honest. Now, I get these women want to be getting paid. I've never said they should not get paid. I have been one of the people saying that they should be getting $1 million a year. Cap should be around $1 to $2 million, bro. That's what I said going into this whole negotiation thing, and I still feel that same way. Now, I am here to tell you this. That last proposal in the beginning had me tricked. I thought that when they...
That position hasn't changed throughout these negotiations. The initial announcement about the $1.1 million CBA figure seemed promising at first. Front Office Sports covered this proposal, and the immediate reaction was relief. Finally a deal, time to move forward with the 2026 season secured. However, deeper examination reveals problems. Female athletes absolutely deserve better compensation. Somewhere between $1.1 and $2 million makes sense. But expectations need reality checks too.
I thought that when they said WNBA, CBA agreement, $1.1 million, I thought that was it. Oh, we got it. Sign it. Hurry up and sign it. Quick, fast, and a hurry. We're going to have a 2026 season. Now, that is an article came out from Front Office Sports, which is we went a little bit over in the last video before this one. So if you guys didn't see it, I'm going to probably pull it up again and break it all down. But yeah, how about I do that now? So, like I stated,
nobody's suggesting $100 million contracts or $10, 20 million per player deals here. The entertainment value question keeps coming up, honestly. The league struggles with engagement issues. Games can feel slow-paced, with limited three-point shooting threats beyond stars like Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Plum, and a handful of others. Most matchups lack excitement, not calling anyone terrible, just acknowledging the entertainment factor isn't there. Sports fans worldwide, not just Americans, want captivating competition.
But yeah, how about I do that now? So, like I stated, in this last proposal from the WNBA owners, I had initially thought that they was going to get their bag. Now, I'm all for the ladies getting their bag. 1.1 million, 2 million, somewhere up in there. Now, am I for these ladies getting $100 million? Nobody. Am I for the players getting, 10, 20 million? Nobody. Because we got to realize
the WNBA hasn't delivered that historically and probably won't unless players have stronger motivation. Physical play provides some drama, though much of it's been directed at the wrong competitor. The only memorable physical moment that felt satisfying was Sophie Cunningham's confrontation with Sheldon, pushing her down. That rare instance aside, the product needs improvement. Back to the proposal details, ESPN and other outlets covered the various incentives required to reach that $1.1 million figure. Here's the problem. Achieving maximum salary requires hitting every single performance bonus. Other professional sports leagues, NBA, NFL, NHL, baseball, all have incentive structures too.
Because we got to realize this. They're not really that good, bruh. I just got to be honest. I'm not here to beat a dead drum, but y'all ain't very entertaining, bruh. I mean, it take y'all damn near 10 minutes to make a layup. The only one actually hitting threes is Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Plum, and a few others. Everybody else is not entertaining. I'm not gonna call them trash, but I'm gonna just say they're not entertaining at all, bro. Like us as Americans and us sports fans from all over the world.
The crucial difference? Those athletes already have million-dollar base contracts. Missing bonuses doesn't devastate their finances. In the WNBA's case, players must achieve every target just to reach $1.1 million. That's fundamentally unfair. There's been sympathy toward ownership perspectives given basic business principles. AC decisions need financial logic, but this particular business model doesn't add up.
And us sports fans from all over the world, I shouldn't just say Americans, from all over the world, we like to be entertained with sports. And I must tell you, the WNBA is just not entertaining at all. Never has been, probably never will be until they get a reason to play a little harder. Now, we know the game is physical, but that's the only entertainment we get. And then y'all being physical to the wrong damn player. I mean, the only time I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it.
The assumption was that $1.1 million meant a straightforward deal. Wrong. Andy Cosmo published analysis providing additional insight confirming lockout likelihood. Being incorrect stings, especially when previous predictions suggested otherwise, but circumstances demand honesty. The ship needs boarding on this one. This latest proposal shows ownership trying to manipulate the situation.
To the wrong damn player. I mean, the only time I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it. The only time we got any entertainment of physicality that went our way was when Sophie Cunningham put the beats on Sheldon. I think that was her name, on Sheldon. When Sophie Cunningham pushed her to the floor. That was the only time we really got some stuff to go our way. Now, with that being said, let's get back to the article because I'm getting all the way off topic here. Now, ESPN put out an article too, which we're going to go over that one. So, this here is WNBA champion. These are the different incentives. So, basically, you got to hit all.
Offering $1 million with massive strings attached? That's not serious negotiating. Playing games with people's livelihoods. When one side isn't serious, the other side stops being serious too, and suddenly ownership faces massive financial losses. League owners could have simply made the maximum salary a clean $1 million, then added incentives for a $2 or $3 million cap, including bonuses. But they're messing with people's money, and there will be consequences. Players will force a work stoppage.
To hit all of these damn incentives to hit the 1.1 million. Now, granted, other sports got different incentives. Well, every sport, NBA, NFL, NHL, baseball, all of these different sports got these little incentives. See, here's the conflict of interest. The conflict of interest is that they have $1 million contracts. So these incentives, they really, it's a plus if they hit them, but it's not really a guarantee or making or breaking their pockets if they don't hit them all.
According to reports, the WNBA's latest offer includes that $1 million maximum salary only if specific revenue share targets get achieved. The base super maximum salary for 2026 stays unchanged otherwise. This entire situation looks increasingly dire. No progress seems forthcoming. The CBA negotiations appear headed nowhere. A lockout seems inevitable at this point. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And are not staying where the Connecticut Sun are. Anyway, a proposal went out, and it sort of came out after the fact. The WNBA owners put it out there as a super max contract of $1.1 million, right? Considerable raise. When it was in fact an $850,000 contract with contract escalators.
The extension deadline hits on the 30th, roughly 9 days away. From available information, players refuse to participate without getting those millions. Can't blame them, honestly. They deserve that money, period. No debate needed. Athletes should earn at least $1 million annually. Well, actually, maybe more realistic would be contracts starting at $300,000 minimum.
Escalators to get it up, or bonuses, to get it up to $1.1 million. All right? All of a sudden, it didn't look so good. It wasn't a $1.1 million contract as base salary, which is really the kind of thing I think the players are looking for. Well, it didn't take long, but the union has punted that I talked about football earlier to describe how the contracts are done.
There's no justification for current compensation levels. ESPN's Alexa covered these developments yesterday, discussing the proposal's reception. The players and WNBPA don't believe this proposal advances anything meaningful. Looking at reported numbers, $1.1 million maximum, $220,000 minimum, $460,000 average salary, the core issue becomes clear. Players and the WNBPA take issue because this proposal doesn't actually implement their requested revenue share system in the next collective bargaining agreement. They've remained consistent in their messaging. The salary structure must expand alongside business growth. This proposal fails that test significantly.
Earlier to describe how the contracts are done, well, they punted this contract proposal right back into outer space. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. The Women's National Basketball Players Association does not view the WNBA's latest collective bargaining agreement proposal as something that moves negotiations forward. Sources told ESPN on Thursday, 10 days before the current CBA is set to expire. By the way, I got another story after this.
Substantial negotiation work remains before any realistic deal discussions can happen. Questions remain about what revenue sharing would actually involve. That uncertainty and lack of clarity frustrates players who want concrete answers and transparency. Summarizing everything, nobody even understands what revenue sharing looks like yet. League management isn't being transparent with players. As stated initially, a lockout appears certain. The countdown continues.
By the way, I got another story after this about who the Indiana Fever might end up losing in the expansion draft. Man, I think we're all going to be okay with it. The league's proposal, first reported by the AP and confirmed by ESPN earlier this week, includes a revenue sharing component that in combination with base salary would allow the players to earn a maximum of more than $1.1 million and an average of more than $400.
Recent developments indicate that the Women's National Basketball Players Association has declined the latest contract proposal from WNBA ownership. The offer, initially presented as featuring a maximum contract worth $1.1 million, was revealed to actually consist of a base salary between $800,000 and $850,000, with various performance incentives and escalators required to reach the advertised $1.1 million figure. This clarification significantly altered the perception of the deal's value. Most WNBA franchises are controlled by NBA ownership groups, with only 2 independent owners in the league. One such independent owner operates the Connecticut Sun, though there are ongoing discussions about bringing in NBA ownership for that franchise as well. Several teams, including Milwaukee and Houston, are mentioned in connection with ownership changes. Questions remain about Boston's involvement and the future location of the Connecticut Sun organization.
$460,000 and a minimum of more than $220,000. I would say those parts are much more, you can deal with that a little bit, I think, in the fairness, than you can the idea that you got to hit. I mean, it would take you hitting like 7 different bonuses to actually get your way up to, the 1.1 million. In 2025, the
players' union swiftly rejected the proposal, viewing it as insufficient progress in negotiations. With just 10 days remaining before the existing collective bargaining agreement expires, tensions are mounting. According to reports from ESPN, the Women's National Basketball Players Association finds the league's latest offer fails to advance discussions in a meaningful direction. The rejected proposal included a revenue-sharing element that, combined with guaranteed wages, would theoretically permit players to earn maximum compensation exceeding $1.1 million, with average earnings surpassing $460,000 and minimum salaries above $220,000. While these figures appear more reasonable across the board, the structure requiring athletes to achieve approximately 7 separate bonuses to reach the advertised maximum salary remains problematic. For context, during the 2025 season, the league's lowest salary stood at $66,000, while the highest reached approximately $250,000.
25, the league's minimum salary was $66,000. Supermax was $249,000. Call it $250,000. But sources told ESPN the players' union does not believe the league's proposal includes a system where the salary cap and players' salaries sufficiently grow with the business, a long-standing demand of the players since they opted out of the current CBA October 2024. Players do not want a fixed salary system and instead want one based.
An additional revenue sharing provision exists for direct payments to athletes if specific revenue benchmarks are met. Notably, this component has never been activated throughout the agreement's duration, as the league reportedly lost $40 million in the previous year. Financial transparency concerns are emerging as there has been no disclosure regarding the league's 2025 season financial performance. Historically, the previous year's $40 million loss was announced around November, making the current silence noteworthy. Speculation suggests ownership might release figures if losses continued, as demonstrating ongoing financial challenges would strengthen their negotiating position. Both parties agreed to a 30-day extension through November 30th last month, but the union has already dismissed this latest proposal as unworkable.
System and instead want one based more directly on revenue, such as in the NBA, where the salary cap is determined by the basketball-related income. The league previously said in a statement it proposed a significant guaranteed salary cap increases and substantial uncapped revenue sharing that enables players' salaries to grow as the business grows. The union responded in a statement that said the proposal, quote, put lipstick on a pig and
Concerns are growing about whether reasonable compromises can be reached before a potential work stoppage occurs. A lockout situation could prove devastating for the league's momentum and public perception. Regarding Indiana Fever roster developments, assuming the team maintained its current composition heading into the 2026 season, most analysts identify the top 6 players as Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, Sophie Cunningham, and Natasha Howard. However, roster stability appears unlikely. Free agency looms for everyone except Clark and Boston, with nearly all WNBA veterans potentially changing teams, assuming a new collective bargaining agreement gets finalized in time for a 2026 season. The expansion draft adds another complication to roster planning.
In a statement that said the proposal, quote, put lipstick on a pig and retread a system that isn't tied to any part of the business and intentionally undervalues the players. In the current CBA, the salary cap increased annually by a fixed 3%, coming in at $1.5 million essentially in 2025. And a separate revenue sharing provision called for direct payments to players if the league hits certain revenue targets.